beyond the oil sector, agriculture, I'm happy small for this here, is another sector that we could probably thrive. You know, we wasted the last 8 years discussing farmer harder crisis, whether we are going to have ranches or ruga. Not a single ranch was built. But that's a sector on its own that will bring in billions of dollars in export and even feeding us locally. So, if you look at the supplementary budget of 2023, they have this figure of 11.7 billion per geopolitical zone, which are putting into nebulous things like agricultural implements and infrastructure. If you say agricultural implements and infrastructure, Northwest, 11.7 billion, you've not said anything. Where in the Northwest? Which state? Which zone? This is what we have been doing year in, year out. This is called, as I understand it, this is setting the stage for grant stealing. Because if I say 11.7 billion in the Southeast, which state do I start from? Enugu State? Imo State, everywhere I go, I say, where are they putting in this infrastructure? We have been doing this for years. It's not producing any result. They are stealing money with it. I'm sorry. I may be sounding like I'm not diplomatic and that I'm sounding like I'm accusing people. If at all the money is not being stolen, could they show us where the previous budgets, resources from the previous budgets have been invested? So, agriculture, whether it's the ranching, cattle rearing, or animal husbandry, or crop production, whether it's in cotton, the palm tree, cocoa, rubber, groundnut, whatever, if we simply manage ourselves well, we can revitalize that sector. But of course, subject to the caveat of security. Had the farmer say, no big farms are working today because nobody will go there. You get there, they kidnap you, ask your family to bring 100 million. First of all, you don't have the money. Even if you have the money, you are not sure if you bring it, whether the person will still come back alive. And even the little that is produced, all the reports we hear, even little things like yams, the few they take out to Europe and America, goes from Ghana. That if you want to export ordinary yam, you have 20 agencies, all right, in the ports who want to claim to inspect, and they bill you with all kinds of levies. That what will cost, they say a ton or so, that will cost $5,000 in fees to be able to move from Ghana. In Nigeria, they ask you to pay about 30-something thousand. And they waste your time that by the time it leaves Nigeria, it gets spoiled. By the time it gets to the ports where they're supposed to throw it away and say it can't enter a country. It's only a mad person who will be repeating the same experiment without varying it and expecting different results. And that's exactly what we are doing in Nigeria. And I want to tell you, you see, when you begin to discuss economics and somebody begins to draw graphs and charts and begins to tell you it's an esoteric science, tell the person he's a liar. Economics is common sense. It's just like what judges and lawyers are doing now. They manipulate justice and they want to tell you that, oh, there is something esoteric about the law. It's a lie. There's nothing esoteric about the law. In my village, they judge like cases and they do justice. Anybody who simply tells you there's anything special about the law is a liar. It's when they want to provide justice. If you say law is so hard, what of the doctor who brings out, the gynecologist who brings out your baby alive and saves the life of the mother? Which one is more difficult? Or somebody who stayed on Earth and programmed a mass rover millions of miles away, and the rover is still bringing back information to Earth. So if a judge will simply be so arrogant like the CJ was doing yesterday and say, calling his employers a mob, the CJ said, don't pander to the mob. And I said, who is the judge? He's an employee paid from my tax money, just like the permanent secretary, just like you here. He is nothing special. And who are the people to assess his performance? It is the taxpayer. It is me. It is you. It is the citizen. And he's calling the mob. That is vacuous arrogance. And they need to be told clearly. I'm a lawyer. Nobody should fear them. That they need to come back to their senses. I am saying this as an extrapolation of when somebody begins to draw graphs and charts and tells you there's anything magic is doing. He's not doing any magic. If you were a magician, we wouldn't be where we are today. Half of what needs to be done is common sense. Once you run away from common sense, you're a joker. Get back to inflation. We have